In ancient times, this sacred mountain was sealed by the dwarf deities with 5 powerful.
Let's skip that boring part and let's dig into business. I need your help.
Hey, where am I? This is a bit different from what I visited earlier.
Hey, come here quick.
Oh, me?
Yes, you.
How dare you to interrupt my story? I am the mountain.
Well, as I was saying, this is the Misty Mountain and has 2 things about it. One, it's filled with golds and diamonds.
And there is some kind of weird magic. What was the last part?
Instead, you can mine any dwarf streams, and all you need is a pickaxe.
Any dwarf streams?
Hello. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Hey, Gibbous.
Hey, Bruno. Hello, everyone.
Hello, everyone. How are you doing today? And how are you doing, Gibbous? I see that. What are we looking at?
At an empty map.
At an empty map. This is scary, right? Also scary, but a lot of possibilities there.
So yeah.
How do you feel looking at an empty map?
I don't know. Interesting. A lot of things you can do.
It's been quite some time since you've seen one of those. Do you still remember the day you started to make the Misty Mountain map?
Well, just a little bit, but actually, no. Yeah, probably. It happened so quickly. That yeah, the Pickaxe Master went through a lot of development, and starting the new map a little bit reminds, but also just shows how much can be done. Yeah,
that as well. It's also a gentle reminder of everything that can be done. And welcome, everyone. Let me just give a warm welcome to everyone that has already joined us. We got Wicked U2 here. We got Manquake. We got the Yokes on you and Drakusha right here, right now. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, whatever you are, if it's day or night. But I hope that you're having an amazing time and that you continue that amazing time with us. Now, what do we have here? There's so many things to be said and to be told. You might be... Hey, Gravy Kyo, welcome. How are you doing today, fam? You might be wondering, why an empty map? Where did the Misty Mountain go? Why is Gibbous making this map just a huge block? This is our new experience. It's called the block. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. But we're going to have a very special guest here. Again, we are going to have Gordon from Outer Studios. And this is going to be the continuation of that teaser we made, I think it was 2 streams ago, where we had them. We had the Outer Team Studios joining us, which was not on Monday. I'm not sure. Maybe it was last week that we got to make some preview on what's going to happen in the Pickaxe Master regarding the newest contest. And this is going to be a collaboration contest that we're going to do with Outer Studios. We have called it the Underground Master. So they have the underground assets, the underground kits. We're the Pickaxe Master. So let's call these events Underground Master. So who's going to be the masters of the underground? And what does these... Maybe I'll just wait a few more minutes so we have more people to join as well before we get through on what is this. But in the meantime, we will take advantage of every minute that we have to start building on this. So what we're going to do right here, and I think that we can say this without having to explain everything else, is that we're going to make a template. We're going to make a base map of a mountain. And this template will be served for everyone else to create upon it. And why are we doing that? because that's the rules of the contest. With that said, we're setting the first stones, or in this case, we've put a very big stone, a very big boulder, and we're going to terraform it a little bit. Gibbous right now is giving some thresholds to the highest place. Maybe, how much did you get there?
So 10 is right here.
Okay, we can leave 11. That's all good. Or that.
Actually, yeah, I think.
Why not?
No
One
worries.
extra voxel. One extra block. And choop, here we go. So we've got a marking there. Maybe you can just leave like one block just to signalize where's the limit. Like on each corner. As just a symbol like, okay, this is the limit over there. And we can delete it in the end. Yeah, something like that. Probably will be useful so that everyone knows like what's the threshold of the map. What's the limit? And I kind of lost myself here. Where was I? We're talking about this particular map. We're making a template. Yeah, well, it's kind of hard to say without telling. So let's just get through with it. I think it's easier. So we got this, and I wanted to have Gordon here, but hey, it's all good. He will explain again, because by the time that he gets here, there'll be more people here, so we get to explain it again. So no worries about it. We'll get to see it a lot of times. Oh, let me get just some music while we do so as well. Perfect. So for this map and the Underground Master contest that we're making, let me pull up here the rules that we have, and I'll just get it through with you on what's going to happen. All right. Now, this is a collaborative contest. We have invited other streamers and other creators. It was a creation of the Outer Studios and the Pickaxe Master on who got invited for this challenge. On next ones, probably will open a forum if you want to participate in this type. But since this is very new, we're still exploring what's the possibilities that can be done through this type of contests. We wanted to handle down personally the invites for this type of contest. Now, the goal of this contest is to use the Outer Studios underground assets and build a majestic mountain. The teams will be able to use the Sandbox assets, so the approved assets by Sandbox that are available for everyone with the Game Maker, and also a bundle of Pickaxe Master assets that we have there. There are not many uploaded yet because we want to keep adding them throughout the weeks. This is going to be run for 6 weeks, and it's composed by 4 teams. Actually, I would say 6 teams if we include the Pickaxe Master and Outer Studios teams, because we also will be building at the map. Now, what are the rules for this? The rules is that there's a minimum of 2 hours of stream per week of every team. So every team will have to stream for 2 hours in any time of the week. There's no off-stream building, so everything that's going to be built on this mountain will be streamed, and we will have a compilation of that as well, which is going to be pretty cool to see what can be built in just the live streams of throughout 6 weeks. There's no adding personal assets to this account, so only the accounts that are there can actually be used. And on the first 3 weeks, every team will work only on their own quadrant of the map. So it's 4 teams. Everyone will have a quadrant so they can work on it. On the last following 3 weeks, teams can decide if they want to collaborate and merge quadrants. So instead of having everyone their part of the map, they can merge, and 2 teams can become 1 team and have all of that as their own part of the map. Now, we have prizes and rewards. Since this is a collaborative contest, we decided that it should not be just one single winner, because there's so much more that we can actually reward and pay attention to. It's not like who did the best job. One winner takes it all. No, So we decided to create 10 trophies for 10 different categories, which are most viewed streamer. It's pretty self-explanatory. The streamer that gets more accumulative views during their streams throughout the contest wins this prize. Best collaboration. So the team that works best with others, with what others have created. And this can also include that function we told that would be merging teams. Best game mechanic. The team that can make the best feature in the game in terms of mechanics. This would be referring, of course, to logic. Best minigame. The team that can make the best minigame out of the map. It does not need to be very sophisticated, very complicated. Just a minigame like search for these mushrooms, go do something. That will be up to you and your creativity to actually make a minigame if you want to participate, because people can say like, okay, we're not going for all the categories. We're going to focus on these specific categories and just work for those. That will be part of the strategy. Next, best landscape. The team that makes the best landscape on their own quadrants. Or if they decide to merge, that team will be rewarded to the teams that are included within that merge. Most innovative asset use with Outer Studios underground assets. So we'll be checking how do you use the underground assets. And we will be rewarding a prize for the best use, for the most innovative use of them. So they're tunnels, mainly they're made to be tunnels, so that you can have these modular assets that are really easy to build upon. You have a grid that's some sort of, it's a trick and tip. You can place a grid, then you can mount all you want with those modular assets, then delete the grid, and you just have the modular assets with a lot of paths, mazes, whatever you want to do. Nonetheless, we want to see what else can you do with these, I would say, so obvious type of assets. Like, how creative can you get with those? And we want to see that and reward also for that. Next one, it will be the Outer Studios chosen trophy. So they'll state a reason and they'll pick their favorite team / collaboration, and they'll say why. There's also going to be the Pickaxe Master chosen trophy, which will be the same, but for us, we will say which team do we want to award and why. Next one will be team voted trophy. So each, oh, my cell phone. What happened on my cell phone? I'm still live?
You're not anymore.
Okay, I don't know. My cell phone just got out. It closed my apps. I don't know why he's doing such. And let me see if I can get back. Maybe it was Video Ninja that's got taken. Oh yeah, this really went down. Okay, you guys have to give me a second so I can give another link to Gibbous. My cell phone just decided to play Ninja and disappear from me. Oh, actually, you're also using Video Ninja, right?
Yep.
For some reason. Oh, okay, I already know what it is. Ah, God damn it. So I have installed Bitdefender, which is it's antivirus, I think, and has a lot of other things as well. And I've installed it for the computer, installed it for the cell phone, and it seems that it does not want me to be streaming. Like, why does this program have access to your camera? Because I want to. Because I gave. Okay. But I have to say, my cell phone is rather slow today. Oh yeah, something's not right in here. Okay, I sent you a new link, Gibbous, by the way. Okay,
You already sent it?
Yeah. Let me close all the apps. Maybe I just forget to close everything.
Still don't have the link.
Oh, really?
Unless it's this one, but this one is old one.
Oh,
yeah.
Wait. I've sent in just a... Okay, my cell phone really does not want to collaborate. I just posted in a random group in a random server. God damn it. Yeah, this does not make any sense at all. let me copy again to you. Oh yeah, I'm starting to dislike. I'm getting notifications from that antivirus all the time now, and I think it's making my cell phone rather slow. Yeah, I'm not enjoying this at all. Okay, I'm back. It should be back.
Yeah. Probably in a second.
Oh, there we go. Seems like it came a bit laggy. And okay, where were we? We were describing the prizes, or we were describing the categories that can be rewarded. Next one, I was telling about team voted trophy. So each team will vote on other teams. The team with most votes will win this category. So it will be very easy. And there's going to be the public voted trophy. So the public will vote on all teams' work, and the one with more votes will win the category. Probably will make some different subcategories for you to vote on, so we can have more details on who should be the rightful winner. So continuing, every category prize has 100 sand guaranteed prize. It's 10 categories. We're talking about a total of 1000 sands of prizes accumulated that can be distributed through all the teams, and we'll see who get the most trophies out of these contests. Different trophies will have different NFT prizes as well. So there's going to be some Outer Studios NFTs within each category. There's going to be Pickaxe Master NFTs in each category as well. We'll be talking about, of course, in our case, some pickaxes when we get them minted, of course. So that's what's going to happen throughout the next 6 weeks. Today, we're making the first... we're getting the first things done. So there's going to be some Terraform so we can actually give a template for everyone to work on. Otherwise, it's just too abstract. It's just too empty for anyone just to get some ideas. And we will do this today. And on the next Friday, we will do another one. And after that, it will be Outer Studios doing it as well. And from there, it's open. Everyone can start, all the participants can start to get the builds done. So we're going to have a calendar, which we will share with you. So you can be, if you want to follow these contests and you want to be in every stream, watching what every team is doing, we'll make sure that we can get you the calendar so you do not miss any stream. More stuff. Are you guys ready to know what's going to be the roster? You guys want to know who are going to be the teams and the participants? Oh, actually, I just got a message from Gordon from Outer Studios, and I'll send him to let's invite him over here to join us, Gibash.
Of course.
I'm also sending the link for him. Also, let me add ear for voice, and let's leave to Gordon to actually introduce who's going to be the participants.
Okay.
And by the time I was not checking here the chats, and let me give a warm welcome to Roxy Miguel, 9A7A, and who else do we got here? And I guess these are the two newest miners that have just joined now. How are you doing, fam? How are you doing today? Roxy Miguel, excited? Ready for this? I'm sure you are, because we are as well, and we are damn excited to get this going on. New stuff incoming.
Oh. Sorry, I have...
We got Garden over here, yeah. No, we cannot hear you yet.
I think he might go to our StreamYard.
Yeah, I sent him an invite, a link. He just has to click it to join, so I can add his audio here. No, we're still not hearing you. And maybe you can place him at the middle, no?
Yeah, I have a little problem with this OBS.
Oh, now we've both disappeared.
Where's Bruno not here? You should be here.
I rushed out of training to watch the stream. Hey, Roxy Miguel, that's some spirit. You could even watch the stream while you're on the gym, no? Just have the screen, they're like making some push-ups, like some biceps, while watching some building, like let's build these muscles, like we're building a game maker. Let's try that. Oh, I like the way that you're marking those. Yeah, that's an easy way to spot on each quadrant. Non-doubled.
Did the link that you just currently send is for Gus, yes?
The last one, yes.
Very strange.
The one that ends with
It
M7.
shows me you.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, that's weird. But it just got him. Like, and I've got Gus here already, at least on audio. So let's get him. Hey guys, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you guys hear me?
Hell yeah. Loud and clear.
All right,
How are you
perfect.
doing today?
Great. It's a good morning. Happy Friday.
Yeah, happy Friday and good morning to you. It's very early where you're at, right?
Yeah, not too bad. It's about 7:30 right now.
Hell yeah. Keep it early. And we're just having some technical difficulties to get you on the image. And
No
get you
worries.
everything working.
Nobody needs to see me before I put my makeup on.
Can you just double check the link, because it seems a bit odd.
Okay, maybe can you try to refresh the link? Maybe get out of Video Ninja, go back in, get the new link, and I'll send the new link back to Gibash.
Yeah, no worries.
Oh, swimming train. That will be harder, Roxy Miguel, to actually watch the the stream. I'd like to see Roxy Miguel watch the stream while swimming. Yeah, maybe with waterproof VR goggles. But that sounds dangerous. Imagine the time that we get waterproof VR goggles. Where humanity has gone to. Hey, double Bruno.
Yeah, so the link is somehow is showing Bruno.
It's corrupted. He's taking over.
I'm taking over. When you go back and get in, and probably you're going to get a new Video Ninja link. Just send me over the DMs here at the Discord, and I'll just... Okay, there we go. Perfect. That was fast. Okay, we're sending you a new link.
Apologies.
All good. And I was about... I don't know if you heard what I was saying during the stream right now.
I think you were just announcing the teams, yeah?
Yeah, I was about to announce the teams. Oh, there we go. Now we're perfect. Hell yeah. Well, we're almost perfect. There we go. We're all here. Hey, welcome. Welcome, Gordon. How you doing today?
Hey, good. Hello.
Hey,
I'm using the-
Is the carping
using the-
all right?
The?
I think the camera.
I have the phone as the camera, as you guys suggested, so I'm trying to figure out where I need to sit.
Yeah, and it's much more fluid than it was last time.
I think right here. There we go.
Looking good. And yeah, we were just about to announce who was going to be the teams. And I think that, if we're going to have Gordon here from Outer Studios himself, I think, yeah, take the lead, man. Don't leave me just spreading all the beans all by myself.
Oh, geez. Okay. All right. Well, let me pull it up so I don't mess up anyone's name real quick.
Of course. So I was also thinking in making one last-minute change in order just to make the teams even. Probably you saw the suggestions that I sent you over. I just wanted to double confirm with everyone before we announce those teams, the last one. But we can say the participants for sure.
Okay. All right. Well, why don't I start with kind of some of the participants, and then maybe you can break down the teams?
Sure.
Okay. All right. So what we have: OG Shakespeare, Mr. Maddox, and I know that's understandable, but I call him Mr. Maddox all the time.
Mr.
King
Maddox
of
of
Crypto.
Furia.
Yes, Maddox of Fury. King of Crypto. We have Batman. Wow, this is a pretty big lineup, guys. Caratraz.
God damn
Ferdinand
it.
Bird.
I'm just getting excited with all these names and just seeing everyone just doing something together on this map. I think it's going to be insane. But yeah, we're not done yet.
And Roxy Miguel.
Hell yeah. We got Roxy
And
Miguel right here on the chat.
I think there was a kind of a new addition that maybe you want to say that I think was this morning, right?
Yeah. And the last participant to confirm, it is Crafter, our amazing fan that does the Behind the Avatar show, which is pretty for myself. It was the first interview, first AMA that we ever had, that we got invited. It was by Crafter, so huge honor to have him on board on these contests. So, man, with all the names that you said, all the creators, I'm just too excited to get this started. I cannot imagine where this is going. Having all these talents all together, because all of them, they have participated in several game jams. The King of Crypto has its 6 games launched already. I would say that the talent is insane and it's immense. And with this type of roster, this type of lineup of all of these creators, I just feel fortunate and blessed to be able to, with Outer Studios and with you, to be able to do this type of contests and these type of events, but also to have such an amazing fam to join us to do so. I don't know. I just get speechless with the amount of quality there.
No, absolutely. That's a huge group of names and turnout. It's so awesome. I can't wait to see just everything that comes out. I mean, there's so much creativity and it's like a giant boiling pot. It's just in time for Halloween, so I'm gonna start making my cauldron, boiling pot, witch references. I think it's really awesome. So I just can't wait to see.
Yeah.
That's what excites me the most. It's like I get excited about everyone who's joining, but I get excited to just see what everyone's going to put out each week. It's just going to be amazing.
And what's going to come out. And we got just Karatros to join us as well. Hey, welcome. How you doing, fam? We're just announcing the lineup of all the creators, and goddamn, it's full of talents, I have to say. And what we're making right here, it's going to be the base map, the templates for everyone to work on. So we'll be making this stream today. We'll making another one in Friday, and after that, it will be Outer Studios making a new one as well. And after that, it will be open for all the teams to participate. So right now, we're just terraforming some. We're giving... this is the land for the community game jam, Karatros. This is correct. We're setting up the templates for everyone to build. And I'm not sure if you have already watched it, Gordon. Gibbous is making some quadrants here. Yeah. There's like those white lines. They'll get more defined by the end, I would say. Right, Gibbous? Maybe we just...
Yeah, it's just now I'm only thing that I'm trying to do now to get a nice visual, like to find the zero, like the base level, and I'm just watching the height of mountains, so they look a bit like right proportions. So yeah, I think this is getting to that place, and now I just want to clean up and make this area a bit more nice to the eye. But I think the proportions, plateau, like a flat area. But I think the proportions are getting right. Before it was a bit too shallow. Now I think it's looking better.
It can even get bigger, the mountain size. I think we can grow underground.
Yeah, of course. But it's just trying to do it as fast as possible. Just things that probably the most needed. Yeah.
I'm not going to put you under pressure, don't worry, because we have these 2 hours, then we're going to have another 2 hours, then the Garden and Danny are also going to continue, and their stream will be more focused, not much into Terraform, but actually has some tutorials, some tips, some guidelines on how to use the underground asset kits. So they got some amazing tools. They've got some, let me also get that for everyone that is interested. They got some amazing tricks and tips on how to use the Outer Studios assets. So they got some YouTube videos they did explaining how to get those done, and I'm going to paste here on the chat for you to watch it if you want. And would you like to give just some tips before we get that stage?
Yeah, no, exactly like you said, for our stream, we're going to focus very little on building because we don't want to add too much to the build. What Kivish is doing here is kind of creating the layout for the initial structure, which is very, very important for the initial terraforming because the style and theme of the build. But for us, we want to concentrate on just education of the assets, and you'll see on stream, and just like the videos that Bruno's sharing, you'll see the assets are very easy to use, and we're going to break them down and come up with, sometimes depending on the version of Game Maker, there is even additional tips, but it's pretty straightforward on what to do a lot of the time. Once you use the initial grid for the underground assets, everything just shift clicks into place, and you can start dropping assets in. And a lot of the time, I think a lot of people take for granted is how much you can create an initial structure, especially if you plan it out, and it's pretty easy to duplicate. So if you want to mirror a side of it, or say, oh, you know what, here's my straight corridor into a curvature, now I can duplicate this, and you can build very quickly and efficiently in large scale. So we're going to go through all that on our stream when we started next Friday.
Hell yeah. And we're excited to hear from first person of who created these assets, like just some tricks and tips on for example, how you used. We know that you have this social hub that you've been working for quite some time, and you've used all these assets, and of course we would love to see what was your thought process on making or on how placing those assets, like why you decided to put that way, or why did you decided to put there. So yeah, I think that will be pretty cool to just get some tips directly from the source. Oh, and I've disappeared again. God damn it.
It was kind of gradual too. I'm telling you, something going on for Halloween.
Okay, here it is. I think it's my internet connection. It went to 0 there. I saw it.
Oh, that's funny.
Here sometimes it does not. I see that this is like some sort of bunker. Anyway, so yeah, this is going throughout during 6 weeks. So it will start. This is the first one. We're going to have the next one on next Friday, and after that it will be Outer Studio stream. We're planning to do it back to back, so we kept it as condensed, and so we finish and they start right over again. And that's going to be something very cool that we want to promote, not only this time between us, but actually between every creators. We want to create some sort of rewards for people actually doing back-to-back streams, because we feel that it will be the most fun as well, and it will have more content if you see one team streaming and then just raid the other team to continue the work, or just to do their share of the work, or whatever they're doing. And we feel that this is going to be highly cool to watch, just to see like, okay, this team has done this, let's see what the other team's going to do, and it's just straight back to back. So that's going to happen on next week. Next Friday we will continue to terraform, as 2 hours might be too short to actually make a template out of this. So after that, we have a shared calendar for all the teams, and yeah, that's how everyone's going to manage and organize, and that's how we plan to get everything going on. Now, what's the purpose of this map that we're going to build? This map will later on be included in the Pickaxe Master expansions. So we have already the base map, and this one will serve as, you know, that we have announced a couple of maps that we want to do it next. One being the crafting hub, which will be single player due to the how logic is placed right now. It's very hard to have complicated logics with multiplayer. There's going to be the PvP map, but that one, it's still multiplayer PvP. It's still not not yet launched, so that's going to take some time, which leaves us the multiplayer social hub. And this is what's going to be used for, since it's going to be built by a lot of creators, by the community. I would say it makes a lot of sense that this is also a social hub, so it's also for the community to get together. At least it's what makes more sense, I would say. With that said, that's going to be the main focus and goal of these maps. So whenever you're building, whenever you're creating and having, you should have that in mind. This is going to be a social hub, and it should serve that purpose. Now, what Gibas is making here, it's these templates. As you can see, there's 4 quadrants right here. And Gordon, would you like to explain just a little bit what's going to happen in each quadrant and how it's going to proceed?
Yeah, absolutely. So we thought it was important to, this is a collaboration, but it's also, competitive if every team would like it to be. And it does need to start as a competitive, we're going to call it it's not a blood sport, but it's definitely something that should be fun. And each quadrant is dedicated to each team. So for the first 3 weeks, we are going to let the teams kind of start in their own quadrant, and there might be some announcements on what will happen. I don't know. Do I want to say what's going to happen at the 3rd week already, or the 4th week, or the 5th week?
Yeah. I would say so.
All right. So for the first 3 weeks, we're going to let the teams concentrate on their own quadrant, what we think is important for style and plan, what the teams individually come up with, because strategically, at least me, on a team, if I was joining a team, I would plan everything out and say, this is like what our vision is, and let's go for it for the 3 weeks, right? And see what we can accomplish. And at the 3rd week marker, the lines are going to disappear. And by that, we mean the lines are, we're going to start separating quadrants, and it's up for the teams to decide if they would like to collaborate even further. So teams can decide if they want to join quadrants and collaborate and create some sort of super quadrant. And this is open, to all teams, or just, whatever teams decide to collaborate. So that's where we think it's going to get really interesting. Just as far as, because you're going to have so much style and influence already in each individual quadrant. It's going to be very interesting at week 3 to see who starts collaborating and joining quadrants and what they're doing, whether that's even something you see above ground or if it all takes place underground. That's where, style and just team design is going to get completely unique, I think.
Yeah. I would have not said better. Also very anxious for that moment. Actually, I'm anxious for every moment, I would say. It feels like
Absolutely.
Every step is going to be very new, and it's going to be very fun to watch and to see through what's going to happen. Gibbous, which part of this event are you most excited about? Like, you've heard it all, how it's going to happen, and what does excite you most about it?
Probably just watching the streams. The part I like the most, that all the building will be done in streaming, so it's like a little bit of speedrun maybe, and that kind of intrigues me, like how people will decide to use their time, and what they try to build, how, and just overall the process, probably. Okay,
I agree. I think the time that it's almost like it's very much like a TV show, because if we have a lot of different TV hosts coming on with their own TV shows, and they're gonna have their separate hours, and to see what they do in that time, it's like watching, it's like an Iron Chef, right? It's like watching Iron Chef. You're watching the best of the best that we've seen in the Sandbox go and create this from their vision and what they're going to decide. But then on top of it, there's technically somewhat of a time constraint, right? So it's not like everyone. I think a lot of us have done, game jams and Vox Edit contests and things like that, and very often there's quite a bit of time, and not to say there's not a bit of time in this contest. It still is 6 weeks, but there is some bit of time constraint that is on each team for the streaming hours and time. It's not like you can just say, okay, I'm done streaming and then go put in an additional 4 hours. There is no offline building. That is that is one of the clear rules. There's no off-stream building. So the only time that you're building is when you're live streaming it or streaming it or creating a VOD to the community.
Whatever happens, it happens live, and you get to see it.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's going to be something cool. It will be the most close that we can make to some sort of television show, in whatever that may sound or whatever that may be. But in the end, I think that this is still pretty much experimental, nonetheless, because there's nothing been done like this before. So I would say that either participants, either organizing, this is all new to us. We can expect some setbacks during it. There's going to be a learning curve as well. Like, okay, maybe this rule, it is not the best for it. Maybe we should implement also this. Well, this is also going to be a learning curve. And of course, all the feedback is appreciated, either from the teams, either from the audience, you that's watching. Well, that we're just very fond of feedback. I think that a good dose of feedback does not hurt anyone. And with the right spirit, all you can do is actually grow and learn with the feedback that's being told and understand why it's being giving you that feedback. So yeah, those are some things that we also want to keep open as well, is for feedback. And it looked like my cell phone wanted to break again. But no, we're good. So yeah, that's what's going to happen throughout the next 6 weeks, starting, not, in this case, it would be 7 weeks, because this would be like week 0. And on the other one would be week 1, where it gets the kickoff and everything starts. And yeah, we're watching right here. So Gibash, what are you trying to do right now? I'm curious.
Just trying to get some sort of a bit more like here stepped terrain.
Mm-hmm.
And then we will start to probably add a little bit of snow on the top,
Mm-hmm.
and just trying to make it all cleaner, just like more structured, because now it's a bit chaos, a lot of blocks, just like these holes. I don't think they have to probably, I have an idea just to make a very simple stepping, one block stepping towards the mountain, and just make it like as general as I can make. So yeah, just trying to probably get some stones removed, which are unnecessary, as much as I can with sphere tools, because removing with one block just takes too much. So I'm just trying to remove blocks where I see that there is no nice stepping, like right here, like up here. So just trying to make this kind of ramp, and then we will refine it. So yeah.
And just
also
to give some feedback on it, sorry to cut you off, is that you're saying like, I just popped my head when you're saying like, okay, I'm covering this hole, just to leave it loud and clear that everything that's here, it's changeable. It's just a template. It's a layout for you to work on. If you want to make a hole as a cave entrance that will lead into a main gallery underground, that's up to you. You can change and terraform the way you want. Basically, yeah, we want you to have that creativity and to be open to create as you feel that it should be.
Yeah, it's going to be hard to make everything identical, which we knew with this kind of framework. It's I think each quadrant is going to have very close to being the same, but there might be a very subtle difference. just on the mountain terrain, I'd say, which I think is cool anyways. It gets everyone just a little bit of a difference when starting.
Yeah, it's just it will be it will be equal but slightly different. But in the end, everyone will be able to terraform how they actually want the quadrant to look like.
Absolutely.
Yeah, this is just more like to give a general idea or just a general layout, so you don't get. It's okay. You can use your creativity, but if there's just an empty page, it's like, okay, where to start, what to do. If at least there's like a template on what to work on, and there's like, okay, I understand this vibe. I understand what's happening in here. I would say it's easier actually to get it to get going on. And probably we can say also what we have in mind in terms of the areas or how should they be used to. So probably just some guidelines on what we have thought that would be cool to. This is just a general guideline, of course, that in the end it will be whatever you decide to make. But what we have thought of is, so we're going to have these mountains, which are some sort of also the frontier of this map, which is a 1x1. And in the top of the mountain, well, there's going to be like, for example, maybe some caves, some parts of the quests that can be done, but it will not be the main focus, I would say. That's like the outer side of the map. And right here where we have this green grass, this is actually where we want to make some sort of village. So some buildings as well, where we're going to have some trees, also some small forests. That's actually where this is going to happen, most of the social hub in the upper side of the mountain, because there's going to happen a lot underground on the mountain as well. And yeah, this would be just one of the parts, which would be right here on the outer.
I just counting the area, so yeah.
I was very intrigued on like what is like he's drawing a sun.
1, 2, 4.
Okay.
I just start to symmetrize and just work from center to the outside. I think the proportions are good now. The mountain seems like there is quite some mass on there.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think the proportions are going all right. Yeah, and now just we'll probably work from the sides, make it round, and then going up to the mountain. Yeah, and for that I'm just counting
to be even for everyone.
Yeah.
So it's fair for everyone. Yeah, it makes sense. And on this one, it looks like that we're probably going to work most on the outside of the mountain. And then on the next Friday, we will work on inside the mountain just to create some structure. As you've seen, there's a hole in the middle. And this hole is going all the way through down the map to the very, very bottom. There's going to be some lava in it. But as you can see, it's still pretty... There's still a lot to be dug. It's going to be a very, very huge fall down there. But in the meantime, what we want to also to do is to have access. Yeah, as you can see, it's still a lot of remaining. Yeah, don't worry. Yeah, don't worry about it now.
No,
we can do it.
I'm thinking, how can I do it easily? Well, yeah, of course.
Yeah, we'll do it. And also, the hole seems just small, at least for now. Maybe it can grow a bit bigger.
Yeah. I think the effect that it's going like these steps is making it small. It's actually not that small, I think, and it's now very symmetrical. I think it also, maybe we can leave it for creators maybe to also think of how this hole can be, because you can make like stairs or something. So
yeah. And down there, so I was thinking in sort of somehow separating these into layers. So it would be the layer that happens on the surface, and it's the layer of everything that happens underground. So the same way that we're going to have part of the social hub up here. So there's going to be some sort of like small town but this would be the only visible part, because the rest of the social hub will happen inside the mountain, so underground. So I expect to be, and I think we should actually only create like the main gallery there, like the
Yeah.
huge gallery where it would be like this. If we have to say, okay, second social hub, or at least if it's a social hub, and this is like outside, it's one meeting point, and the underground it's the other meeting point. So these, if we call it points of interest, like everyone's doing during the alpha, it would be something like that. So the major points of interest would be one outside and the other one inside. And that would be probably for us the best thing to just do. Okay, this is the area outside, and then when we go inside, we create that big gallery where it's going to be another village there, and everything else, I would just say we leave it open for every creator to make some galleries, to make some tunnels, just to let their imagination go out, and they could create some sort of smaller sanctuaries, some mazes. They can create some mini games like, hey, you have to find these ores or these materials that are scattered around the mountain. You have to talk with this dwarf, or you have to talk with this NPC. And another thing that also we have discussed, Garden, was that since we're making these, and we can call this that this is our fam, this is our friends, this is our partners, like this is our colleagues. We're all part of this, and it's a social hub, and on a social hub you want to party with your friends. So one of the things that we want to encourage is afterwards to going toward the end, we want for everyone, if they have their own assets that they also have created. For example, I can just remind on the top of my head for King of Crypto to have some goblins, for example, right here on the map, and just add some stuff, some personal stuff there at the end, so it feels more like, okay, this is really a social hub, and we wanted to keep it that way. And Cartro's got a question here, Garden. There's a main lore for this project?
The main lore for this project. Well, you know, I guess the narrative really comes down to this. This is the Underground Master is the name of it, and obviously, well, not obviously, but it's because we're using the Outer Studios Underground asset set, the modular kit, and it's Pickaxe Master. So I'd say at the end of the day, the lore is going to come down to the Pickaxe Master team. But we have discussed, and kind of like what Bruno was saying, I think really this is a social hub. So it's not so much to think of it as like lore in a game where you'd have to really kind of figure out what the characters are doing and the story behind it. This is a place we want people to show off their own assets and hang out. But at the end of the day, it is themed for Pickaxe Master. It is a mountain. It is underground. But I would say lore wise, I really don't want to put any like label on it, because it is, at the end of the day, the creativity is up for the team, and whatever they come up with is completely on their own. So if the team even decided, I think that's actually a really interesting component to bring up, because if you individually decide as a team you want to create a story within your own quadrant, utilizing the assets, there's nothing to say that you can't do that. So I think that's actually a pretty interesting idea. You could technically create your own lore for what's happening within your quadrant. So yeah, already something interesting that I didn't think might happen just happened with that comment.
yeah, definitely, and I can see that happening, especially if you're going. And I think that's the coolest thing about having different categories and different prizes, is that every team and each team can concentrate in just different things that they want to focus more. And like you're saying, for example, best minigame or best mechanic, they just can come up with some small story, some small lore, and this is where also the collaboration can come. Like, hey, I've created this part of the story, I see that you guys created that part of the story. What if we make like this collab quest now that gets both part of the story? So people has to complete part 1, which is in this quadrant, got to complete part 2, which is in your quadrant, and what if we make a part 3, which is the junction of both quadrants, and they have to go to different steps. Roxy Miguel says Wolf Master Pickaxe, because Roxy Miguel got the wolfies. You're like, don't matter what it is, I'll put wolves. I have idea for my personal lore. Love it. Love
That's
it,
awesome.
love it. And Gibas, I
I
really like the way
apologize
you're doing.
if I'm super nasally, guys. I'm still fighting off this cold,
Yeah, you were having a cold last time you were here with us, right?
and I
It's still
can't
going
beat
on.
it. But today I'm finally feeling the best I have all week. So I'm on the mend, I think.
You sure you sound at least better than last time we spoke during the stream.
Thank you. That's good.
That's looking good. It's interesting the way that you're doing this, Gibbous. I have to be honest. I was not expecting to see this. How you're organizing everything.
Well, I just want to know too that everyone have a similar starting situation and yeah, as similar as as I can make. Yeah. 4, 6.
That's awesome.
8.
It's looking really good.
Well, not yet. Well, I have a vision of we showed you, yeah, and
Yes.
yeah. So just trying to figure it out how to put that into 1x1, because actually in that reference there is probably 2x2, so the proportion seems a little bit odd. But yeah.
Working on a
3,
2x2 would
9.
be too big. Making a 1x1 details, it's already hard enough, and it takes quite some time. Making a 2x2, I actually respect people that work on that. They just like, you know what? I'm going to make a 3x3, just out of the blue, 3x3, starting with that. I respect the hell out of those people that embrace those type of challenges, because making a 1x1, it's by itself, it's already a generous challenge, I would say. Mr. Freers X, hey, how are you doing today, fam? How is it going? You're watching right here, right now, the Underground Master first stream, which is going to be a series of streams throughout all the teams with a lot of amazing creators, all the people that you want to see, all your favorite names out there. And we're just making the, like they say, we're setting up the first stone, right? Literally.
Yep.
And for that purpose, we have Gibas right now just trying to make it as even and as equal as it can possibly be, trying to make it at least bare minimum geometrical for everyone to work on. As we can see, we have 4 quadrants, and as we're going to have 4 teams as well. So this is going to be the starting place for everyone. Everyone will have their own quadrants, and they'll be able to work within their own quadrant right here. And after week 3, this is going to run for 3 weeks, and after week 3, they can get to decide if they're going to merge their maps and they're going to collaborate with the other teams and the other quadrants. And when that time comes, I believe that's going to come with some very cool and very unique features, I would say. Well, I think all the process and all the parts are going to be cool. I'm not sure if one will get to be cooler than the other. I just think that every part of it's going to be cool.
Did we also note that each week there's not only going to be curveballs? Well, I wouldn't say curveballs. There will be additional tasks and challenges, and then some will be actually voted on by you guys, by the community, and some will actually be, you know, even additional assets. So each week the team can open up, you know, the shared wallet, and they're going to find new assets that have been added. Well, I think he disappeared again, Bruno.
Yeah, it's my connection on the cell phone. It's breaking like crazy today. Don't know. I should be back soon. Don't worry.
I swear he's doing this for Halloween. It has nothing to do with the cell phone. He wants to disappear in and out like a ghost.
I'll just try to reset again the Wi-Fi here real fast.
And then did we go over any of the prizes or rewards, or did you want to go over that later?
I already did it, but we can go again because
did.
there's way more people watching us right now than when I said it.
Okay. Well, let's start with So everyone just joining, again, the rules are, this is a 6-week deadline. As Bruno was just saying, the quadrants that you're seeing being made, that Keeper's just making right now on stream, is each team is going to have their own individual quadrant. And the first 3 weeks of the 6 weeks, they're going to work on their individual quadrants. And that's kind of, up to the team. So I know Karatraz was asking, is there a main lore for this project? And that's where we were just saying, in your quadrant, you can technically create your own lore. You can come up with, all sorts of different things to kind of, even what you're seeing being created right now could completely change as the team takes control of their quadrant. So this is kind of, just a base layout, but they could completely change that in the 3 weeks they have it. And then at the end of the 3rd week, the quadrants the lines are going to go away, and the teams are going to be able to decide if they want to collaborate. So that's going to be, just like Bruno was saying, very, very interesting time. So the prizes. I apologize, guys. I'm still a little sick, so I'm kind of super nasally.
We're just happy
Okay.
and glad for you to be here, even that you're sick. Thank you for.
Thank you. I appreciate that. It's good to be here. Good way to start the morning, to be honest.
Straight off to Game Maker. Let's
exactly. All right, here we go. So we've got most viewed streamer. So that's the streamer that gets the most accumulative views during the contest. So this is going to be kind of an interesting trophy and category because, some of the teams are going to be streaming together sometimes. So they can decide to, kind of accumulate this and share it together depending on if it's someone's stream. But, just like there's 3 of us on a single stream right now, kind of makes, depends on, that's again, what the teams decide to do on their own. But that is definitely one of the trophies. Next trophy, best collaboration. So that's the team that works best with what others have created. So this is going to be something, obviously, that's going to happen at the end of week 3, or at the last 3 weeks. But there could be a chance here that we discuss for even like smaller collaboration trophies within the coming weeks. That is correct.
There's a lot,
right,
of, lot of trophies and a lot of categories.
A lot of trophies. So. Exactly. And that's kind of the thing is each week there is going to be smaller things coming out. So those have not all been announced. And I think as Bruno said earlier in the stream, a lot of this is still, us figuring this out. So we've tried to lay out the landscape for this as best as we can and think about all the different options. But I know there's going to be things that come up that we're going to have to pivot or change. And we really, really appreciate feedback. So if there's anything anyone thinks of that they're not seeing or they're watching, during a stream, they're like, oh, this would be great. Please let us know because it's only going to make it better. So for the next time that we do this, it makes it even better for the teams participating and everybody watching. All right. The next one is best game mechanic. So that's the team that makes the best featured mechanic. I don't want to dive too much into that. I don't want to, there's no real parameters there. So I think it's going to be really interesting to see what the teams come up with. Best mini game. The team that can make the best mini game, I think that's pretty straightforward. Best landscape. So this is where it's going to get really interesting, I think, in the first couple of weeks with the terraforming from especially, week 1 and maybe even to week 2. Because the landscape that we're seeing now that's being created live on this stream and that will be in the next week's stream, I really think is going to completely change. I think once a team gets their quadrant, they're gonna go nuts, even underground and above ground. But we will see. Okay, most innovative asset use with the Outer Studios underground assets. So we have seen our underground assets been used for elevators, pathways, bridges, boats, everything that they were not intended for. We've seen so. It's going to be really interesting to see. It's always very cool to see what creators use these assets for, other than just creating, tunnel systems or making a realistic underground landscape. So it's going to be interesting to see how that works out. Next, 3 trophies are pretty straightforward. So the Outer Studios Chosen Trophy, our team is going to pick our favorite team collaboration. Pickaxe Master chosen trophy, same thing. Pickaxe Master will pick their favorite team collaboration and the team voted trophy. And everyone's going to pick their favorite team or collaboration. That's the teams that competed. And then the public. So the public voted trophy, that's cumulative. At the end, the public is going to decide who wins. And, that's, again, this is a very collaborative, fun build. So it's going to be interesting to see which teams. I don't think one team is going to reign supreme on all trophies, but I could be completely wrong. It could be like Brad Pitt at the Oscars. Maybe he's winning everything.
But yeah, I think that everyone will get their share of prizes. I think it will be hard to win everything at once. And by the way, Gibas, just to give you a heads up, I sent you a new link because I believe that the other one was broken for some reason.
Okay.
And we got some questions here by Carotros, Gordon.
Yep. Oh,
Your
okay.
sci-fi assets will be available, and can we use all? Let's get one question at a time. So, your sci-fis will be available.
So,
Hey,
as we've
back.
discussed, hey, how's it going? As we've discussed for this build, we'll have to discuss that more. But as of right now, no, the sci-fi assets are not available. Again, there will be twists and turns voted on by the community in the weeks throughout the build. So I'm not going to say that it's completely impossible, but as of right now, no, it is the underground modular asset kit that's created for this build.
That's more like team-wise, other than asset-wise.
Yep. Can we use behaviors and components, or just those that work on multiplayer?
So yeah, these being a multiplayer and a social hub,
Yeah.
the behaviors and components that we can use will be the ones used for as a social hub that can be used as multiplayer for now. It's a bit limiting, we know, but in terms of what we want this map to be, it gotta serve that purpose, I would say.
Yeah, and I think one thing we want to keep in mind too is this is a place that sorry for the dogs barking in the background, guys. This is a place that we want the teams to be able to host events in later on too, to show off stuff in their quadrant and even like have events. So it is limiting, but it's also so that we're thinking for the future of hosting events as a social hub and things like that. We are going to unfortunately have to keep it under those parameters just to follow the Sandbox rules, basically.
Maybe we can, when multiplayers and social hubs have more functions, maybe we can later on in the future have a version 2 of these contests and just, hey, remember where we stopped? Let's continue this. Like, I don't know. This is just going to be, I would say that most of all, this is a tryout. This is it's an experiment nonetheless, because I don't remember seeing any of this being done before. And at least personally, I can say that this is going to be very new for us as well. I believe that's also going to be a case in terms of hosting this type of event and also participating, because every team will work for 2 hours, or will have 2 hours to stream their builds during every week. But also ourselves, the Pickaxe Master, will also be doing 2 hours per week. And what are we going to do during those 2 hours? We'll probably just see, like, I would not say we're just going to try to put more some terraforming, like, okay, everyone's trying to build on this, but let's just put some more details on this part. We'll just try to help. Like, probably we ask the teams, like, hey, what type of help do you need? Like, do you need something terraformed? Would you like anything just to be built here? So we just want to be as there are some helpers. Like, we get the feedback from each week from everyone. It's like, okay, it would be very cool if there was a waterfall in here, or if there was this space. Hey, can you guys create like this part or something like that? It was just like, okay, let's do whatever everyone and whatever the teams have asked to implement, and we'll just be helpers mostly.
Absolutely, and likewise, we'll be there to help as much as the teams need us to or want us to, especially with our assets. If they're having any complications or they need additional training or even help placing stuff, we will try to not intervene but be as helpful as possible without helping too much to favor. That's the thing, is we never want to favor, and no team will be favored.
Yeah, I think that we should keep it that as neutral as it can possibly be. So when it comes to our help, I would say it has to be some sort of, I would not say limited, but it has to be a very specific type. Oh yeah, and Gibbous, I see what you're doing there, and that looks cool. Yeah, to have some sort of narrowing down the passage, going under, not making it totally. Yeah, it's some sort of even, but not as even as well. So that's looking pretty neat to say. And by the way, let us know, you that are watching this stream, let us know if you have some questions, either if you are one of the participants, one of the creators that's going to do stuff, like Artros is asking a lot of stuff in here, and in terms, if you want to ask anything, actually anything, just let us know. What do you want to know about this challenge? Do you want to know something about Outer Studios, about the Pickaxe Master, about any of the creators? Let us know if you have any questions that we can help you with. And yeah, those color changes, that's really cool. I think that's really what makes up for a map. It's actually a color, a nice color palette, you know? I remember that when we were building the Misty Mountain, one of the things that got me the most, it was not how it was designed. It was actually the color palette. And we had a lot of gray in our map inside of the mountain at one point. And I remember talking with Gibbous, like, hey, Gibbous, you know what? I feel like we have too much gray on the map. We need more colors. Like, we need more the different areas. So it just, if it gets too monochrome, at least if you're going underground, you're in a mine, and it's just too monochrome, it's sometimes I would feel my eyes getting bored, you know, because there was not much visual stimulation to it. So I decided to add more like these blocks. It feels like some sort of clay, some sort of dirt blocks that Gibbous is placing, and then adding more grass into it. It just created a much more different color palette, and that was much more appealing to the eye. So yeah, having just that in mind in your configuration, in your build, just a color palette, if it's going to be visually attractive to the eye, I think it's already a big component.
Yeah, gradients and color palette are huge, and that could be something that the teams work on and decide even before, is like what they want to use and pick out the blocks specifically they're going to use. And it looks like Roxy Miguel actually has a question: will we be able to terraform the area assigned to us? So yes, absolutely,
and we encourage.
So again, what you're seeing here is a layout and a concept, and basically a starter guide. But if you decide as a team that you're going to take your quadrant and completely go a different direction, technically, that is up to you. You could, as an example, if you just decide to build a giant mountain in the middle of your quadrant, there's nothing to say that you can't do that. Or whatever. So again,
or take the mountain.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that's where it's going to get really interesting in week 1 and 2, is to see the landscape change and the terraforming that the teams are going to do themselves, especially above ground and underground.
Yeah, for now, I would say that probably this stream will be more dedicated to get the outer ground. Let's put it that way. Design, and on next Friday, we should go to focus on the underground as the templates, as the layout as well. So what probably I'm thinking, since this is divided in 4 quadrants and we want it to be as equal as it can be, probably during the middle of that hole in the center, we're going to create a really big gallery, which will be all around that same hole. So that way, everyone will also have a part of inside of the. Let's say we can split this into social hubs, which is going to happen outside, and the one that's going to happen underground. So everyone will also have a share of the gallery inside, so of the social hub inside the mountain. And from there, all the tunnels, everything else, we'll leave it for you. How you want to interconnect, if you want to go higher, if you want to go to the very bottom of the mountain, what do you want to build there? Yeah, that will be totally up to you. And you have just a green flag to go wild, I would say.
Yeah, it even to your point there is kind of interesting because you could see a team with the quadrant look exactly the same as Gibas just leaves it today, and there's nothing there, right? But when you go underground, you have no idea what they've kind of built a complete ecosystem underneath the quadrant. So it's going to be exciting to see how that happens because depending on what changes above and below.
And having the 2 hours to do it so every week, some at the same time, it's like you really have to focus and plan what you're going to do. At least you should have just some basic plan in your head, because 2 hours fly. For example, we have been here, we just started streaming, and poof, 1 hour and 15 minutes have went by. So of course we have not started to build right away since we've started, because we're just greeting everyone, telling the rules, getting here. So I would say that's about 15 to 20 minutes. I've not actually been into building. Although Gibas is just going like, he's mad focused. I can sense him. Like when he gets that face, he doesn't say anything. He's like he's in the zone. Gibas is in the zone right now. Hey, but I'm not pointing fingers, by the way. I think you're muted, Gibas. That's probably why we're not. Oh no, you're actually just not talking.
He's just in the zone.
He's real, yeah. And this happens like when we do the Fridays and Mondays. So that's also to building, and when there's something like, okay, this needs to be fixed, and that's expression like of total concentration.
I have to know, Gears, what mouse do you use? Because you're not only using WASD for movement, but you have like a scroll wheel that is like the fastest scroll wheel on the planet, or what?
Simple old mouse.
Really?
Yeah, but only thing that is a bit better with it, it has sensitivity settings on the mouse itself.
Yep.
That's all. Yep. But basically, I hold Alt. I don't know. I should have a keyboard overlay. But basically, I'm holding Alt, Shift, right mouse button, and then moving with mouse and WASD. Then I can pivot around and move around. So I'm just holding a lot of buttons.
No, your game maker movement is very fast, I have to tell you. I thought Danny and I were fast, and then watching you, it's like, holy crap, what are you doing there?
yeah. Gibas, the way that he moves around the mountain is just I remember, I think it was gold 24K. It was like, I'm getting motion sickness from watching this stream because Gibas moves very fast.
Actually, probably designing teeth every day and just moving with mouse around in patient mouth probably teach me how to do that even without thinking. Basically, if I want to, my hands are doing. I have to really think what I'm pushing if I want to tell for someone. So
it's become second nature, right? It's like
yeah.
That's the best stage when you're making. It's like when you don't have to think what your hands are doing.
But this is only, the controls for camera. But the other thing is probably just to know what you're doing.
Fred and Ferds is saying something really cool. I did not know this. And by the way, welcome, Fred and Ferd. How are you doing? He's saying page up and page down is what I use instead of alt. I didn't know alt when I learned.
Oh yeah,
page up
is definitely.
Okay, I didn't know that one as well. Cool.
Yeah,
but well, I like that my hands are not moving. Like only mouse is now moving a little bit.
Yeah, that's our alt is, and it sounds like the sensitivity. I'm gonna go because I'm on just one of my mouses is an older one, and then one of them has a sensitivity. So I'm actually gonna try that and start messing with the sensitivity and see how that messes with movement. Well, because alt and shift is definitely something I use, all the time as well. But it's your movement seems to be on another level. You're just so fast.
Well, he's the only person that, for example, I've seen on the Misty Mountain. I entered there.
Actually, wish I could use this.
Oh yeah, right.
I actually train a lot with drones. on simulations.
Oh, nice.
So I think it would be even better, because you can move like slowly. Then maybe, I don't know.
What about have you seen?
Game controller.
I know Seb posted it, but a couple people have posted playing on what's the handheld that people are actually playing the alpha in. It's
That's the Steam controller.
The Steam controller, Steam Deck, right?
Yeah.
I'm wondering if someday you'll be able to build on that, because if they're playing the alpha in it, I don't see why you wouldn't be able to build on it.
I don't think it would be actually easier to build with the controller than actually with the mouse.
Oh no, I think it's way faster with a mouse, especially someone who's like lived their life on a PC.
Only for movements, yeah. For camera movement,
Yeah.
probably the controller would be easier. But instead of building, I don't know. And we got another question here, which is from Fred and Ferd. And hello, fam. Very excited for this social hub for these. You said, right?
Yes.
That is correct.
Yes. That is correct. But that doesn't mean that within your quadrants you can't do something special, like even mini games or your own theme, or as Karatros said, maybe even your own lore. I know he was saying something about he's going to have wolves in there.
That was Roxy Miguel. He has a lore.
That was Roxy. Sorry.
For example, King of Crypto having some lore.
The Wolf Master. It was Roxy.
Yeah, and maybe having something related to the goblins as well. I can see all of that happening, actually. As all you know, at least at the Pickaxe Master, we are very fond of interoperability. So having some added quests and some extra lore that can be integrated with other games that are already out there, I think it would be a smart way also to go for. And I would totally encourage it, because it's, in the end, it would just bring closer to more interoperability between games. And yeah, that's what we like and what we're all about. We love to see everyone just going all together, and in the end, when everything is live, you just will feel more connected. You go to this map, and then poof, you're getting a portal to Outer Studios, and then bam, you get another portal to King of Crypto Land, and then you just go on another portal, and you go to Roxy Miguel, to the Wolfie's World, and you just be roaming around all through these different maps and to all these different creations that everyone has done. In the end, I would say, at least for myself as a player, I'd like the way that alpha is done. Is like, okay, you go to this map, then you go to another map. I would personally be looking more into, like, you enter a map, okay, you have a portal, it will lead to another map, but it feels like something, it's more continuous. Then it's just like you play an experience, stop, period, you're fixed within that quadrant, within that land, and then move to another experience. If I'm able to move and go and progress towards portals, and it's like I go through several portals, and then I started in, for example, Outer Studios. From Outer Studios, I went to King of Crypto, and then I went to Wolfies, and then I just arrived at the Pickaxe Master. It's like, oh, you know what? I think I forgot something, like at King of Cryptos, and then okay, another portal going back. It will feel much more connected without having you to leave to the alpha lobby, or just get out of the server just to watch the Sandbox map and just load another experience. It will feel much more immersed and much more, at least closer to what MMORPG is, which is an open world. Personally, I want to have more of that vibe of just roaming around and not having to travel that much. It will feel like you're just zoning between instances. You're just trading a new instances. You're progressing in the story. And I would love to see more of that. Like, you just actually, that's what I'm expecting for Sandbox to be. You enter the alpha lobby, and from there you just go like walk, You take portals to Atari, which has a 24x24 there, and then walk again out of the land and just go from portal to portal and see what's happening around. So it actually has a feeling of, or a vibe of more open world than actually it is right now. But that's my wishes, and that's what I actually wanted and like to see.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. And it's like exactly what I would love to see too, and envisions. It would basically be an endless world, because as builders continue building, it's always something new to find and continue going into and growing, and new landowners and new game companies creating experiences, and individuals that are creating just on their own and adding the lands. I think it's just allows for endless open world possibilities, really.
Totally. And for example, having we're making a 1x1, and one feature that would be really cool, and I don't know, I feel that Sandbox is actually pretty active in listening to all the suggestions that are being sent by the community, by creators. I feel that they're actually paying attention to all the requests that everyone's making. So one thing I would actually love, and I see that, I know one the things they said is that when you get your experience finished and your experience done, one of the things that you'll be able to do is to get your wrapped experience, some sort of token of your experience. That way you can transfer, you can sell it, you can buy it, you can do a lot of things. Just give me 1 second. Olá, tudo bem? Tudo bom? So there's going to be a lot of things that's going to the wrapped version of the experience. So one of the things I would love to see is, for example, we have these social hub, and there's the outer studios, there's King of Crypto. So if we were able to actually, if we're neighbors, actually land owner neighbors, if we would be able to, like, okay, I'm going to place this wrapped version of the game, the map, the experience right here, and I want to, I would not say merge, but I want to have crossover interaction with my neighbor and have that function. Like maybe you still go to the border and it's going to ask travel, it would be okay. But it also would be cool if you could actually see your neighbor's land if you decide to toggle on these options. Like, okay, I want the people that are in this land to see these neighbors' land. It could be like a very low poly type of render, you know? You just see the general landscape, you just see the general the general how it looks. You would have no details on it, but you see like, okay, this is attached, this is bundled to this one. I can go to there and it has something related to here, because otherwise you would not be able to see it. It would be some sort of locked content. Well, I just have a lot of high hopes and expectations and dreams about it.
Absolutely. And I think the Sandbox team is very good about taking feedback and learning from the community. So, I mean, the amount of changes that have happened over the last couple of years, I think a lot of it has been community driven. It's not like they're just on their own agenda. I think they take a lot of feedback, so which is great. And I think, you know, exactly what you're saying is a lot of what I've heard, you know, even Seb say himself of what he envisions, and I think their end goal is ultimately to do something very, very much like that. And I think you're seeing like the interoperability that you're seeing already with the collections that are coming in, you know, like with the avatars and different, you know, NFT collections and companies. It's just showing not only collaboration on their part, but interoperability, which I think is very important. Because even to your point, it's like, imagine, you know, Sandbox is an endless MMO, right? Or like, you know, where it's endless open world, essentially. But let's say you were able to get through all of the Sandbox and everything, and you spent, you know, maybe a couple years probably getting through all the different experiences and time and hours you put in. Technically, they could have some sort of interoperability. Sorry, sick brain. Anyways, you guys know what I'm saying, but they could do something with other deeds where you go to Yuga's lands and all of a sudden you're in the other side, right? And it takes you, opens a new web browser, whatever it is, and it's somewhat of a seamless transition into, now you're already in a whole nother metaverse, right? So
that
I think
would be even more insane.
Yeah, I think, you know, we're obviously, I would say years and years of, well, you never know. Everything moves so quickly. Yeah. So I would say at least years away from something like that, but I don't see why that couldn't be as something. And in my mind, that's kind of like what I picture is, I think a lot of people have thrown the word metaverse around, especially since it became a hype word and you know, Facebook changing their name to Meta. But I really think that metaverse is just kind of this, is worlds connecting, right? It's like everyone can have individual metaverses, but it's this branch that allows you to connect between the other ones that really opens up to this new universe, right? Which is essentially what a metaverse is. It's a whole digital universe in creation right now.
Yeah, and I think that like you said, that would be the ultimate end game. probably. When you actually cannot connect only with your neighbors and have shared experience and like we're talking, but actually have some gateway to enter different worlds. For example, the central land, outer side, and just have a seamless experience of just traveling to experiences through IPs, like you're saying. For example, there's the Yuga Labs. We have the Miami 2035, if I'm not mistaken. That's the name of it.
I think so.
So
yeah.
imagine going to their social hub, and there you have a portal to actually join the other side, and it just feels like very effortless. Just
And it's like
traveling
an
around.
identical social hub. It's like the social hub you enter on the Sandbox is identical on the other side where you pop out.
Yeah, but just
You
a
know, that's
different
how I
type
kinda
of
see it.
render.
Exactly, except it's whatever graphics system they're using, which I think is probably going to be looks like
Unreal.
it's more like Unreal Engine.
Hmm.
I think
And
other
yeah,
side uses M8 engine. It's very there is a whole different engine, at least for
M8.
other
Okay.
side, as I researched, because other Unreal Engine really has bad problems on multiplayer side. So
Yeah.
they decided not to
Hmm.
use Unreal Engine, and they use some sort of M8 or some sort of that. I didn't find any any documentation on what engine they use, but what they can do is just multi-massive people in one area.
They
I
did
never
M8
seen
because they have the serums, aren't like the M1, M2s as well.
I didn't see like any game which can support that many players in one space.
Well, yeah, what they're doing in like I don't know if you guys saw the player testing where
I
how many
did, yeah.
people were on one
Yep.
server. Yeah, so Danny was actually he took part in that, and he's we've both been PC gamers for a long time, and he said he literally had never seen anything like it.
Yeah.
It's
Same.
I think
it's
that's
probably one of the best crazy gaming innovations for like social interaction and all players inside the same thing. I mean, it's pretty revolutionary actually, and it's crazy to see that a company that started off as an NFT has gone
having
to
thousands of
create
players.
one of the I remember we were discussing it, and we're like, imagine all the innovation that's happened in the gaming industry over the last 20 years and the companies that have done it and the amount of money they have and everything else. And it took a company to start as an NFT, and within 1 year, they've pretty much done something that the gaming industry hasn't done in the last decade. And they figured out, I mean, how many of us have played Halo or Modern Warfare and servers have gone down and there's only 10 people in there, and don't get me wrong, there's hundreds of thousands, if not millions of players online taking up that server bandwidth. But the fact that they can have like 20,000 people inside of one server instance is something we've never seen before. Imagine going into like a full, first person shooter map and saying like, hey, there's 1,000 people fighting an open battle in here. That would change
That's
how
a
the
lot.
gaming
That's a lot of
industry
people.
works. Yeah, that to me is an entirely new universe, and that's what every time I think of metaverse, that's what I think of. It's like thousands, if not millions, of people able to be inside of a place at the same time. Is just it's like walking into New York City and walking around. Imagine being able to do that in a digital space. It's incredible.
Oh, I was thinking, how many people do Fortnite have per session?
I'm not actually sure. I think they're
I've
one of
never
the
played
higher
Fortnite,
ones.
Me either.
but I think like they would have about like 40 people, 50 people playing at the
Yeah,
same
I
time.
think they're up there, and I think one of the other ones that did it well when they originally did it. So Fortnite, it looks like Battle Royale is up to 100 players, which is incredible because it's
But
like
World of
seamless.
Warcraft, for example, you would have raids with way more people than that. I played Anarchy Online, and I had raids with about 200, 300 people. Well, the lag was insane. I'm not going to lie. The lag was terrible.
exactly.
That's the difference. It's like Fortnite, 100 players are all working at like crazy FPS and everything else, right? On good graphics. It's like I think one of the best to try it when it originally came out was Battlefield the first person shooter
Yeah.
game. Do you remember when Battlefield came out, where it was like all of a sudden you could have like 40 players and you're in vehicles and there's people in helicopters and everything. I remember when that happened, and it was like, holy crap, this is incredible.
Yep.
And the maps were huge. But yeah, and that's where I think Web3 is really going to change just how this, and that's where these gaming companies. It's funny. I think a lot of people have been saying like, a good game hasn't come out in years. You keep hearing people like, especially my brother. He's a big avid gamer, and he was like, I don't think like a really good game has come out in the last few years, except for, there's been a couple mixed in. Yes,
Yeah.
Battlefield 1942 was awesome. They did a good job on a couple of them. Unfortunately, I think it was hit and miss on one of the last ones, and I don't remember which one it was. But I think Web3, that's where all the bigger gaming companies are starting to hop on, because they're seeing what's happening in blockchain gaming, and it just makes sense.
It makes
It
sense.
makes
And
sense
there's a lot of things that's still going to happen. I've been reading a lot about tokenomics and how games are approaching, and just different games, how are they doing. And it's not even like that's just an unexplored territory, I would say. So there's like a lot of different games that they want to embrace tokenomics and the way they see NFTs and everything just differently. And I think it's amazing that there's not like one standard, there's like just one path to do it. Everyone's pretty much trying out and see what's the best way to do it. And especially with tokenomics, because you as a player, probably you have played games that sometimes you have bad actors in those games that they just ruin the economy of the game. Sometimes the economy crashes because there's some sort of exploits. I was thinking about, for example, EVE Online, which would probably has one of the most solid economies around in terms of gaming. Have you guys ever played EVE Online or heard about it?
I heard about it, but never played it.
Okay.
I've
never played it. Yeah, I never played it, but I've heard about it, and I actually know a person. It's a friend of my father's that plays that game for like over, I don't know. Since I remember him, he plays that game. Like he should be probably one of the oldest players. They have a very solid community, and one of the things that makes it last, it's the way that they design their own economy. So I was reading like players do have Excel spreadsheets to help them to play out through the game. That's like how hardcore their gaming culture is. Like you have spreadsheets to know how much you've mined, how much resources you got. Like you take notes of everything. You get to know the prices of the market. It would be actually, it seems like it's very similar to what crypto would be. Like you want to see who's buying higher, who's selling low, if there's a good buying opportunity. If you're like, okay, I'm going to buy all of these resources for this price because I know that it's going to be going up and people always need these type of resources. Stuff like that.
It's like the old school original ledger or digital ledger, right? So it's the original blockchain, Excel spreadsheets.
Exactly, and
that's kind of interesting. I didn't know that's all that went into that.
It still happens like that. People still play the game like that. Although there's like people have built programs and stuff like that just as helpers, as just external programs to help you. People still go through their spreadsheets, like the most hardcore gamers, to keep track of their resources, mining, selling, buying, wars, etc. And yeah, like you're telling, I don't see any innovative game for quite some time already. And I think that the golden years of gaming happened like between 2000s or even the 90s, because it was back then. Since the computers were not as developed as today, we could not rely as much on graphics as we can today. So games would really have to have really cool game mechanics and really solid structures in terms of gameplay for the player to have fun. And actually what made you to stick to a game was not about the graphics. It was more about the gameplay. Like you just love that game mechanic, that feature, and that's what really stuck with you. For example, RuneScape is still around. And in terms of graphics, it is not the most developed game at all in terms of graphics. I would say that it's pretty much like a dinosaur of the past, but people still love it. Why? Because of gameplay, because of features, because of what you can do.
Absolutely. I mean, it's the same reason there will always be a Mario game and someone will always play it. I mean, I still have my original Super Nintendo and my original Nintendo, and every once in a while, just for fun, we break out Super Nintendo, we play Super Nintendo Mario, and it's still one of my favorite games to play. Super Mario World. I mean, and it's just, you know, there's certain things you can't take away from games, but I will say one thing that I did take for granted was a lot of people didn't like it, or certain things they didn't like, and I think Cyberpunk was ahead of its time graphics wise, because as the newer graphics cards are coming out, and like I don't know if anyone has seen the Cyberpunk anime on Netflix, I highly recommend it. There's an entire TV show they did, and it's actually like characters that are in the game, so like they really thought this out. Like, so they came out with the game, and then they knew they were going to create this series, and it has like little like things. So, and now there's new content in the game based off stuff on the series. But if you haven't checked out, like if you have a graphics card capable to really go in there and see what's going on in Cyberpunk, especially right now, it's incredible. And I think as time goes on and builds, yeah, exactly. Sorry, I was just seeing Mr. Furious.
Yeah, Mr. Furious.
Yeah, no, I think the thought that went into that, I think a lot of people took for granted. I think maybe Cyberpunk came out a little too early. I think it was ahead of its time, because the ray tracing and the graphics, like it really needed at least what most people are running, like I would say is kind of standard now, which is like 3080, 3090. Now we're getting into the 40s, right? So and it's just looking better for people to have it on there. So it's going to be interesting to see what they do. I think that's kind of an innovative game that could go far.
If they have waited 2 years, it would have come out as an NFT game, probably.
I think it's hard to say. It's hard to say because there's so much time and infrastructure, but it is one of those things. Like I feel like, can we fall in the hole? How's it going, Maddox?
Hey, Maddox, welcome, fam.
The hole is part of the quadrant, I guess, in a way, right? So there's gonna be some.
That's one of the axes, one of the ways to go underground, and I would say that's the fastest route. We encourage for you to make tunnels in there and just have access. But what we want to do is within that hole in the middle, we want to create also a gallery, a very big gallery around it, which will also be a second part of the hub. And and we encourage for you to actually create some tunnels to get from the top of this mountain just to go right under and meet at the social gallery down there. There's dinosaurs there. This is going to be like all the way through the map. Like, yes, you can see how big it is. You can jump there. Okay, now you're trapped.
Yeah. Well, actually, I really like the Cyberpunk universe and Project Red, but once I watched the anime, I just had to play it. It was just a necessity.
It was one of those things. Sorry.
No worries. I don't have the graphics card for see that race tracing, but I actually liked the hash and slash thing in the Cyberpunk. I just like that. How does this happen? I just like that beats kicking and all that music that they made and put it there. Actually, I probably enjoy that the most. Where you can just go psycho.
Yeah, right. No, I think there's that's the thing is I think I took it for granted until I watched the show, and then same thing. My brother and I were like, oh, we need to go back and play this again. And it was just a lot of fun, and seeing like the thought that they put into the series and everything like that. I mean, to your point, Bruno, they probably still could do stuff with NFTs. I mean, it would only make sense to eventually do something, but it's kind of hard. They built so much infrastructure on what they've already done. I don't know how they would translate it over, but you know, time will tell.
I was just saying that because the way they're doing of creating a game, then a TV shows, it feels like what most of the NFT communities are trying to do as well. They're trying to make their own comic book, their superheroes, and then their TV show, and then their own game in Sandbox or on their own platform or in another metaverse. Well, it just feels like the sort of philosophy. That's why I was saying more than anything.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, it is. It's almost like they were again ahead of their time, I think, because I think when it came out, it was almost like they were coming out and it felt a little rushed. and I just don't think the tech was there for what they came out with originally. Versus seeing it now and rechecking it again with a newer computer or graphics card, I was like, okay, all right, I see.
We
what
talked about Project Red not long a time. Me and Gibbous, we were talking about Witcher 3, which is an amazing game. We're speaking about games that actually made it throughout the years. Well, I would say Witcher 3 is one of my personal favorites of the games that have been launched recently. In terms of lore, mechanics, just especially the lore. I remember that I had a friend that was living with me back that time, and I was playing The Witcher on the big screen on the living room, and I was just playing there. He used to get on his computer, also just watching some series or working or whatever. And just like sometimes I would just go to the sofa next to me, and was like he stood there for like 1 hour, 2 hours just watching me play. I was like, are you not bored of watching me playing? I was like, no, this is even better of the TV series I'm watching. Like, look, because I like to see the plots. I always like to see the movies and the story. I was like, this is better than the series I'm watching. Like, this is actually pretty cool.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Project is really cool. And Maddox of Fury say that's not big. Well, it's the biggest we can make. The only way to make it bigger if it would go actually from the top.
Toss a coin to your
Witcher. Hell yeah.
I can't wait for that to come back. I'm talking about another well done Netflix adaptation of a video game.
The series of Witcher?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Project Red and Netflix really doing a thing, I think, yeah.
Yeah. And then what was the other one they did? There was another famous Netflix animated series that got like 100, and it was from
oh my gosh, a lot. From League of Legends, I believe.
I think it was League of Legends, right?
Yeah.
And the art was like crazy, cool, and amazing. Yeah. Anyways, great. They're doing.
I've heard good stuff about the League of Legends series. Actually, I've never watched it. I never played that game, but I've heard like good stuff from people that actually play the games. Like, all right. Yeah, I think that Netflix is getting that into that specific public. Like, yeah, you have gamers, that they're going to, if we make a series out of this, like, imagine you have a game, Diablo 4. How many millions of people have played Diablo 4? Millions. I played Diablo.
Is there Diablo 4?
No, I don't know why I said 4. I don't.
Okay, sorry.
Don't mind about the number, but Diablo. I think I played Diablo 1. I played Diablo 2. And I'm not sure about the next sequels. But have you guys played any of the Diablos?
Probably Diablo 2 is one of my child's game. Well, one of the first game that I played on the computer. So I have a strong relationship with it, and I still have it on computer. Like even 2 launchers. And I also tried the Resurrected, which I quite love it. They really didn't change the gameplay, they only updated the graphics.
Yeah, and in terms of dungeon crawler, I think that was a groundbreaking game that changed the whole industry. But what I wanted to say is that, okay, how many people have played Diablo throughout the years and throughout the versions? Millions of players. I don't know. I would say like about 40 million of people have played Diablo throughout the times, maybe more, maybe less. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe even more.
If you make a TV series out of it, now you have potential 40 million people to watch it. It's not a dumb move.
Yeah. Now that you said it, you'll see it. You'll see an ad for Netflix next week.
Probably. I don't know. I have Netflix. I'm subscribed to Netflix.
I don't think Blizzard oh god damn it, Blizzard will do anything with Netflix. They are just, if they wanted, they will make it themselves.
Yeah, Blizzard has been bought by Microsoft, right?
Oh, actually, yeah.
Yeah.
At least part of it.
Yeah, I think they own a lot of the copyright now for most things.
Yeah,
Microsoft
and was that an Activision also was bought recently by someone? No,
I think Microsoft as well.
Yeah,
as well. God damn
it. It's like all under one umbrella now.
I think Microsoft is trying to do a little bit what Meta is doing.
But instead of building from scratch, it's just building very famous
They
IPs, very
just
established
buying
games.
game publishers, which then will build the Microsoft universe, something like that. I don't know.
Well, imagine that they get all of those together, combining Minecraft with Diablo, with yeah, that would be insane. I'm pretty sure that the next years, in terms of technology, in terms of gaming, they're going to redefine what's going to be for the next 15, 20, 30 years, I would say. I
Absolutely.
believe, yeah, this moment in time, especially with blockchain technology, is going to allow for games to develop what's going to be the standard for the next upcoming years.
I just saw a statistic, funny enough, yesterday, and it was like, it showed what year the internet had 300 million users, and then it showed 10 years later it was at billions, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then it showed now like crypto and Web3 has just like estimated between 300 and 500 million users right now, and
That's
then they're like 10 years question mark, right? Like
Yeah.
So it's I really think it's just like you're saying. I think what's happening now in the next 24 months to Web3 gaming and blockchain gaming is going to probably set precedent for what's going to continue happening for the next 5 to 10 years for sure.
I would even say more probably, but yeah, that like you said, and I get news all the time that number of wallet addresses with at least 0.01 Bitcoin has broken new records. Number of Ethereum wallets has broken new records. Like every month or every 2 months, you get just like these news saying that there's a new record of more wallets, more users, and for example, I think Sandbox it did today or yesterday, and we're talking about 4 million registered wallets and 200 DAU, so that should be daily active users. So 200,000 daily active users and 4 million different wallets registered. For an alpha game, that's a lot. I don't know which other game which in an alpha stage had that many people already in it.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, huge numbers. Sorry, my monster dogs are in the background.
It's all good. We're used also to Gibbous dogs. We're very pet friendly in here. And I see already putting some snow there.
Well, to just let my brain to do the
The rest.
I don't know, visualization, just to start to see the proportions, yeah, something like that. Also want to find out from where we are just putting snow on top of blocks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would say that's probably from there or where you were. It feels like a good place. It should be seen from below. From below, you should be able to see the different color palettes. And back to that on the color palettes, one of the game I would like to reference on that is Lululand. Like the color palette they used, it's amazing. It's sometimes it feels like it's even. I don't know if I'm going to say too much, because it's just super vibrant colors and super contrast colors that they have put it throughout the maps just to create different vibes, different feels, while you're going throughout from one room to the other room. And one thing for sure is that your eyes do not get bored visually in terms of colors. That's, I'm pretty sure that you're always getting some sort of stimulation out of it. And I have to ask 3 questions. One will be for Gibbous, one will be for you, and one will be for everyone here watching us. Which has been your favorite game on the Alpha Season 3 and why? And I will start with Gibbous.
I didn't play much, and I didn't saw any playthroughs, so it's very hard to say.
That's fair.
It is fair.
I'm just thinking maybe I saw some and just don't remember.
Well, it's okay. You can think on it, and there's still more 9 days, or no, 10 days left on Alpha Season 3, so you still got some time. You can get like, okay, what are the best games? What are the everyone's favorites? Let's try only these games, just at least to get a glimpse on what's happening there. But I'll pass this question up to you, Gordon. What was
So
your favorite so far?
yeah, so it's funny because you brought up Lululand. Lululand was one I made my team go to. Like I actually made a day where everyone on our team was to go into that experience, as well as others, to check that out. But specifically, I liked what they did with their digital signage. I love the fact that their QR codes, every single QR code worked, even if it was a rotating asset, an animated Vox edit asset, which I thought was really, really cool. But gradients, textures, colors, when you arrive in that subway, you feel like you're in a subway, which is pretty amazing considering, we're not in Game Maker 8 with the lighting parameters in yet. So it's very hard to make lights feel and look real without, that setting enabled yet within the Game Maker. So I thought that was really incredible. I will say I'm a little biased. One of my favorite experiences is Avenged Sevenfold. I'm a metalhead, you know that. I grew up in the same town as Avenged Sevenfold. I went to all their shows when I was a kid. So just being in there and doing that and seeing that was just, it's a little bit biased for me, but that's probably my favorite.
That's cool. I didn't know that part, and yeah, I'm a big metalhead too, and actually having Vengeance Sevenfold, I was kind of expectant, but I was able to actually see a sneak peek of that map on April when the Sandbox came to Lisbon. So I got to see it back then. It was like that huge skull head that they have on the map. Very detailed work. Did an amazing job. I really like that map as well very much. But I would break it down. So in terms of best game mechanic, what have you enjoyed most?
So I'm not gonna go fully into what Giber said because I have played, but I have had limited time to play because we are building. So I'm trying to think of best game mechanic.
Or just guess the best game overall, like that game on that, or that quest on that game. Like you remember, like, okay, I'm having a lot of fun with this.
I'm almost gonna have to pull up the map to kind of see because I'm kind of like blending. I gotta see. There's so much this season that it's like it's hard to remember because sometimes I try to pop in every day, no matter what it is. I try to get in there, but sometimes obviously I can't make it through the whole thing or check everything out. I'm trying to. There was one. I always love Central Town, but that's more of a you're talking game mechanic. Where is the one I'm thinking of? Huh. I can't find its name. Hold on. I will say I did think the expansion of The Walking Dead was very cool.
They have a lot of expansions.
Yeah, so I was surprised. Like the first time I went into The Walking Dead, I gotta say I was like kind of underwhelmed. And I was like, oh, okay, this is what's happening. But they did a really good job. I
on the expansions, yeah.
Those
were mostly from game jams.
Yeah, no, I know that's interesting, right? So again, that's using the community to help create, and what a better way to create than utilizing the people that are creating every single day in these spaces.
They are the ones with most tools. They know what they're doing. They know what the community likes and what's a big yes or what's a big no. So yeah, I think that game jams sponsored by Sandbox are really used for that. And we got the Wet Noodle here as well. If you haven't played much, just default to the Alpha Hub. Well, I would not put the Alpha Hub as my personal but the Alpha Hub really evolved throughout times, from Alpha Season 1 to 2 to 3. Yeah, I want to see what's going to be the Alpha Hub on Alpha Season 4. Well, for my personal favorite, I would say Shadows of the High Seas. I think that's it's a really good game mechanic. Like, you just end the game, you're like, okay, I want to beat my high score again, and you just go like Not like you remember the old games, traditional old games, like very simple game. You just go there and like, I want to beat my high score again, and just try
Yep.
over again, try to beat your own personal. You're competing with yourself. And I think that
Arcade
games
game.
games that you can compete against yourself, like I want to get better and better and better, is actually one of the best game methods to have, because that's like, especially, and I think that one was made by Blaze Games. Correct me if I'm wrong. Shadows of the Ices.
I think that's Blaze Games, correct? Yeah.
Yeah, and they have their own league with it. There's like, so we're going to reward the players that can get the highest score. Just send a screenshot with your highest score, and we will reward the ones that have got there. And that's pretty cool. So not only you're competing against yourself to try to get a better score, but just like, I'm going to be the best player and submit the best score ever. And that really makes a competition within that community. And I really like that. And Gibesh, I see that you blacked out everything.
Yeah, I'm moving to the TPM map.
Yep, because we are over 2 hours now. So like, we're trying to get on the rules, we just built for 2 hours and then stopped. So this is what we were able to accomplish within 2 hours. We were able to get the map divided into 4 quadrants that they seem they're evenly distributed. I would not say that the difference is much, especially in taking in consideration that everyone will terraform freely as they wish. So I don't think it's needed to spend that much time in just to make like some very steppy type of mountain. In the end, everything will be terraformed again. But it looks
probably
pretty neat. It looks pretty neat, and I think we already get some sort of feeling of what's going to be on it. Now, what I told Gibesh to do when we get to the... Wait until the timer is on. So what we decided to do on the end of this stream is that, okay, when we are about to close, we're going to wrap it up, and we're going to raffle 1 pickaxe to everyone that has been watching the show. And we want you, Gordon, to actually be the one to give it away, the pickaxe.
Awesome.
So let me just...
And I don't want to do it every single time, but maybe it's starting to be a trend. The winner who is picked for this is also going to get a special prize from Outer as well.
Hell yeah, Gordon, you're too generous, I have to say. Thank you, and this is going to be a very special Lucky Miner, because this is double the prizes as well. There's that link for a Google form. You just have to fill it up once. We will be closing it quite shortly, I would say, so you want to be fast on filling up that form, as we're going to raffle 1 pickaxe, and it's going to be a gold pickaxe that we're going to give it away. On this stream, it will be regular winnings, and if you have not checked yet, on Wednesdays, we're in some sort of countdown modes on the Lucky Miner, because we're reaching to our 11th anniversary on the Lucky Miner show, and we want to make some special show on the Lucky Miner. And for the countdown to that, every time that we have the Lucky Miner show, we're multiplying the rewards. Last Wednesday, everything that was won, it was multiplied by 2. Next Wednesday, everything will be multiplied by 3. So make sure that you're on the Lucky Miner show and you get those multiplied rewards for you. Okay, we're getting some answers. It's getting filled in. So keep them coming and keep it filling. I'll post here once again that form. And let's just roam around just a little bit on the map while we get those forms submitted. And this is what we're talking about. So everything was pretty much monochromatic back then. And after we had that discussion, like, okay, we need to add more color palettes. So as you can see, there's more greens, there's more grays into it, and with the vines, the crystals, which are also glowing, they give something more appealing to the eye, much more attractive. Again, the contrast with the moss, which is a different type of green on the walls, it also creates textures. You have the different type of dirt piles, the different type of boulders, which also creates some certain different type of shades of the gray, of the brown. That also creates more texture, and it gets more stimulating to the eye. There's also a point where it might get too much. Like, you don't want to overstimulate your senses and get completely overwhelmed by experience, and you don't get to enjoy it. I don't think that we have not, I don't think that we have seen any experience on the Sandbox that has reached that. Like go into that map, it just, your senses are becoming overloaded. I don't think that has ever happened. For example, on this part, I would say it's rather pretty detailed and there's a lot of things there, but I would not consider like as an overload of your senses. Aoki got pretty close. Yeah, you're right. Aoki did add some parts that's got some overload of senses. But Gordon, well, I would like to ask you: do you feel like you're getting overwhelmed, or in terms of detail? If you have to go from 1 to 10, as 10 being too detailed and too overwhelming, and 1 too empty and boring.
No, I think you're sitting. I think you're sitting very nice at like the 7.5 and an 8. You're not overwhelming, but it's also very detailed because you get to you could see a corner, right, and you could go there and understand. Okay, there's assets placed here. There's gradient. I think something that's taken for granted that you guys have done very nicely here is gradient textures, and not only just the colors themselves, but different textures. So it's one of those things like. Seeing blocks in the custom created assets like this that are still, it almost looks like it could be a block is very cool. And I think being able to be subtle like that is often taken for granted. I mean, even like the grass pads and the moss and everything that you've put there, they add so much texture, and it's one of those things like if people don't have to think about it but they feel immersed, then you've done your job.
Actually, I try to do that. Like no one will. I try to do it like no one will notice this moss. I'm trying to make it like no one will look here. Like they will just go through and just go straight forward. That's my point. I'm just trying to make that it will not go straight into their eyes, but once they look, there is something.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's exactly you've accomplished that. Oh. And that's the biggest thing. Like I love going through a game. And you're just totally immersed in the game. And then you're like, you go over to something, you're like, look at that. You're like, look at the detail that someone just put into this. And I was just about to walk right by it, right?
I totally agree with you. And that's a good sign. It's also when you go into a map and you just don't feel like you have to pay attention to the details, and you just feel immersed and you just go, like Ibos was saying, yeah, I'm just going to go forward. That's a good sign. It means that the decoration is well done, although it's not being seen. It's like you're just there, you're feeling it. It's a double mixed feeling, I would say.
Absolutely. Maddox is a genius.
No, not at all. I just imagine how much time I'm working on this. So I actually a lot of like learning. So so I'm slowly. Just some places reviewing from the beginning where I build it, and just making it more like how I would do it now. Like this place is a bit too much, I think, a bit too. So yeah, a lot of things that I learned by building this map. A lot of things. Actually, I can say visually where I was building in the start of this learning curve and how I building now, and how much assets do I need now for filling some kind of for making the core, and how much assets I needed before. So yeah,
this is
the
actually
use of assets. Also expanded. I can imagine, like before, my imagination of how to use asset was way much more limited than now. So yeah, it's actually the assets are more like usable now for me, whatever asset it is. Yeah, so that might also be that. But no, thank you, Maddox. I'm not a genius, but I just try to do my best.
That's all. What we all try. We just try to do the best. And just the assets that are also in the other map are also these assets. And everything that you've seen, we don't have many different. So for example, those boulders, we only have 4 different type of boulders. The rocks, we only have 3 different type of rocks. We just rotated. We just try to bundle them. Sometimes make them higher, they're lower. It's just For moss, we have 4 different types of moss, just different shapes, different colors. There's also some, we call it the rock moss, because it's basically the moss, but with the rock shading. And there's the dirt piles, which it's just 2 different types of stones, and again, some dirt moss, which is again the same moss, but with a different gradient of colors. And pretty much that's all the decoration that we have. And it looks just rotating the assets, trying to use different faces with it. Yeah, that's pretty much all the work that we have tried to do to make them look different, but using the same assets as well. And let's get that pickaxe raffled. I'm going to close the form now. I think that 10 minutes was more than enough time to get it filled. And it's time to get a lucky miner for today.
I learned a lot by making these gold piles.
Really?
Basically, yeah, they are empty inside. You only have to worry about the surface. What does the eye see? But inside, it's just empty. Yeah, so just as you can see, even right there, it could be. I want to make probably even some fixes. As you can see, the spinning part is see-through through some of the parts. So yeah, like these kind of things should be fixed. But at least, like in these kind of cases, we are unable to notice that kind of thing. So.
Yeah, I remember watching you building that part specifically. And it's exactly like you said, you can only see the surface of it, so it's shallow on the inside.
Yeah.
But there's no need to have more assets in. If you cannot see them, there's no need to fill it up with stuff. Alright, and good luck, fam, like Wicked U2 says, and we also say to you, good luck. And Gordon, please have the honor to choose who's going to be the lucky miner of today. So we got 9 responses in these last 10 minutes. And I want you to pick a number from 1 to 9.
I'm going to pick number 4.
Number 4, all right. So who gets to be the lucky miner of today is... And I'm going to get you a message over... DM over Discord so you can announce the winner for today. Because I think it's much cooler when you announce it than when we announce it.
Awesome. All right. Okay.
It's going to be a gold pickaxe.
Gold pickaxe.
All right.
Okay.
So the winner of today is winning a gold pickaxe and an Outer Studios asset. I want it to be a surprise. I don't even want to know. Yeah, let you know what I'm sending you, but you'll get something. So the winner is, all right, drum roll. Blah, 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 blah. We have Betty Bar. Am I saying
Congratulations.
that right?
Yeah, Betty Bar.
Congratulations. Congratulations, Betty Bar.
Betty Bar is a lucky miner, and as one, you have won a gold pickaxe. And you have one, which is the asset. I did not hear it, by the way.
He said he does not know at the moment.
It's going to be a surprise. It's going to be a surprise.
But what
Perfect,
is
even
the nickname on Twitch? Is it Wet Noodle 1?
No, it's Betty Bar. It's there.
Oh, okay.
A wet noodle is a wet noodle. It's literally is a wet noodle. If you have not watched this stream, he has a really cool a noodle with his mouth and his eyes. I like the format.
Like Microsoft, Microsoft
the paperclip.
Paperclip, yeah.
Yeah. I like that. But I really like that. It's very creative and very unique type of stream because you don't get to see a web noodle to talk a lot of times.
Clippy, yeah, his name is Clippy.
Clippy. Now,
okay, Betty Bar.
Betty Bar. Yeah. You go ahead, Givesh.
Okay.
Give us the synchronization right now.
So,
pickaxe time.
Betty Bar, I guess it's your first time mining. So basically, this pickaxe has 50 health points, and there are 5 types of rocks around us, and sand is the lowest tier. It removes 1 health point from your pickaxe. And stone is the hardest material, which removes 5 health points from your pickaxe. And all of the between. What I mean is sand is 1, dirt is 2, clay is 3, gravel is 4, and stone is 5 health points removed from your pickaxe. And you have a lot of possibilities how you want to do that. How do you want to spend those 50 health points mining these assets? So what we need from you is to tell what kind of block do you want to mine, what kind of material you want to mine, and this not artificial but intelligence body will mine for you.
Give us it's at your service to be mined. Give us my mining service. Well, it is actually Betty Bar is not the first time that he's mining.
Sorry.
I was watching. No, it's all good. We always have to repeat this over and over, and we will keep repeating how to play the game for a very long time, maybe forever, because there might be someone new that has never watched this stream before, and it's like, okay, how do you play the game? Now he knows. And Betty Bar actually did it. It was some time ago. Got a ruby pickaxe, and it got 4 copper ores and 7 coals back then. And I believe it was. So this is the second time that he's going to mine. So yeah, don't feel bad for repeating that. I repeat myself every stream in terms of what are the game mechanics and game features. It's part of it. And Betty Bar, what are the blocks that you want to mine? Let us know.
So sand will remove. So if you select sand, you will be able to mine 50 sand blocks. Or clay, please. Okay. So we will be able to. I made a calculator on my clock so that I can calculate the blocks while streaming.
Oh, so like amount of blocks per hour, mined blocks per hour?
No, just so we will be able to mine 16, almost 17 blocks.
Oh, okay. I thought you were like, okay, you can mine these number per hour. Oh, it spawned there. You can see educational clay because you mined 1 before we started.
Actually, yeah.
He went there, but we can see it where it went, and what it is. So good luck. I want everyone that's watching this stream to send a round of good luck to Betty Bar, as we want to see some really cool prizes. We want to see some we want to see some rubies, because I believe that you can get a ruby out of clay, and you can also get probably some golds or some sapphire. So we want to see some gems. We want to see some prizes. Please give it up a round of good luck. Hell yeah, let's go, Mr. Furious Axe, Wicked YouTube, and there it is, copper ore. I love this stuff. Also, the teleporting runes, Boss Killer is fixing those. He's working on it, and he has not finished yet. So we might avoid to use it. We discovered, you know why we're getting that animation?
That long respawning?
Yeah.
Why?
Because we were killing and respawning the avatar 36 times in row like that. Yeah. So it's just dying 36 times, and some of the times you would respawn in another place.
Okay. So, actually, well, that's quick then.
Nice, silver ore.
Yeah, that's a real
That's
drop.
a good one.
Well, 36 times in maybe, if I remember that animation correctly, well, the performance is really good on the logic now.
It's really fast to die and rebirth 36 times, like in over 4 seconds. I think
we got another.
I would say that this round of good luck has been working very well. The Misty Mountain is very sensitive about this. She likes to be praised before she gives some prizes, some rewards. You have some Eden rocks there. Now you
Yeah, and I'm
cannot do that
thinking
jump. But you can
we
add like
should
some
have
climbing.
left a way how to get there.
You can make a
Uh,
rock, just a small rock like the climbing routes.
Yeah, I know that there's is a way to get there from the other side.
Yeah, that one seems way more simpler. It is.
But this stone
Or
is a bit
nope.
making.
Okay, we got there. And
Another copper.
nice, another copper ore. Whee! Do you feel the not anxious, but you feel like expectant when you mine and you are like, okay, what's going to drop? What's going to drop?
Yeah.
To
I
get
remember
out?
once I saw the first ruby. It was like I first I didn't believe my eyes. Then I looked at the chat. What is chat seeing? If they are going like saying whoa, and then I of course looked at Bruno, and then again back to the screen and just to check if that's actually a ruby. But
Is
yeah,
this
that
real?
yeah, actually it's very fun to mine. And oh, copper.
Another one, nice.
Oh, we
A
got
tree. So
that's
there's already
great.
four copper ores and one
5?
silver. 5? Or
5
maybe it's
copper
5.
ores. We will check it.
And one silver.
Yeah.
I like the way this is going. And Gordon, do you feel like that's expectancy of the weight?
Oh yeah, no, I love it. It's it's like you just don't know what's gonna happen, right? It's the random anomaly. It's like when you the first time you purchase a generative NFT and you don't know what you're gonna get.
It's like Diablo 2 drop. So for me it's like Diablo 2. Okay, so we have 5 copper ore and
Let
1
me take
silver.
notes. So copper ore multiplied by 5 and silver multiplied, so silver ore.
I watched a documentary about Diablo 2 or Diablo first creation, and when the creator talked like this feeling of drop, like if you do something and then you get waiting for that drop, it's similar to basically his idea is that it makes us feel similar as we would play in casino or some sort of high stakes thing where we well, once it pops and we see our reward, it's very rewarding us with dopamine, and it's basically our body is making us want to mine more.
That's interesting. But yeah, it would definitely go around something like that. It's just the expectancy. I remember. Have you guys watched the Sandstorm show, Sand or No Sand?
Yes, definitely. With Game Dizzy.
Yep, with Game Dizzy, and the feeling. I remember like when I was watching the show, every time that the contestant or the participant was picking a number, and Game Dizzy goes like with his tone, was like, let's wait, let's see, is it number 17? Let's see what happens behind number 17. And it's just like it makes all that suspense. It just makes like you're like, come on, open the goddamn chest. I want to see what's inside of it now. And I believe it's the same type of feeling that you're talking about. Stop giving away the business secrets. Well, that's just pure psychology, I would say, of gaming. Probably we can put it like that. Anyway, I want to say to Betty Bar, congratulations. I've already made the calculations. You have won 5 copper ores, which is worth 0.25 sand, and 1 silver ore, which is worth 0.1 sand. That makes a grand total of 0.35, which we will send you right after this stream ends, and we will insert your scores into the leaderboard as well. So you can rank up and get into those top places. For now, we are into 2 hours and a half. it's been a bit longer than we usually do, but I think it was for a good reason, because we were able to reward with a pickaxe and another prize, which will be sent by Gordon and Outer Studios later on to your wallet, and it will be a surprise for you to check it out. Now, what I want to say is, I think I'll start this time, and I will not be the last like usual. So I will just want to thank everyone for coming to this stream. I hope they enjoyed the 2 hours that we did on building a new land, which will be Underground Master. It's a new type of contest that we'll be making, and we will continue it on next Friday. So I want to invite you all that are watching this to come and see the continuation, because we're going to have an amazing lineup of creators participating in this contest, which is going to make some really cool stuff to see. Now, thank you for being here with us, and I want to pass the voice or the words to Gibesh, and then lastly to Gordon to say some goodbyes to everyone that has been watching us.
So probably firstly, thank you, Gordon, for being here with us. It's a pleasure to have you here. Thank you, everyone watching here. Thank you, Maddox. Thank you, Betty Barr and Wicked. You too, all of you. Thank you, Mr. Furious, for being here. We appreciate it. I hope we will see you next time. And thank you, Bruno, also for being here.
Well, I'm just happy that this happens. I'm just happy. Gordon, would you like to say something to everyone that watched us?
Absolutely. Thanks everyone for being here. Thank you so much, Bruno and Gibesh, for having me, and Gibesh for putting all this together. That was crazy 2-hour build. I've never seen anyone move so fast. that was awesome. And no, I'm very excited for the things to come. We really are, and we really sincerely appreciate everyone's feedback and support for the next weeks of what's to come. And I think it's going to be a lot of fun, and hopefully just start something new that we can all, really start building on and looking forward to. So thank you everyone who's here, and thank you guys for making this happen. And congratulations, Betty Barr. Make sure to send Bruno all your info so I can get you that surprise gift in your wallet.
I already got all of those informations. I'll send it back to you. Now, everyone, have a great weekend yourself, and see you on Monday. Let's fucking mine.
In ancient times, the secret mountain was sealed by the dwarf deities with 5 powerful.
Let's skip that boring part and let's dig into business. I need your help.
Hey, where am I? This is a bit different from what I visited earlier.
Hey, come here quick.
Oh, me?
Yes, you.
How dare you to interrupt my story? I am the mountain.
Well, as I was saying, this is the Misty Mountain and has 2 things about it. One, it's filled with golds and diamonds.
And there is some kind of weird magic. What was the last part?
Instead, you can mine any dwarf streams, and all you need is a pickaxe.
Any dwarf streams?